The automotive industry is collapsing in slow motion, and nobody is talking about it. 10 car brands are hemorrhaging cash so fast that their executives are having secret meetings about emergency measures. While dealerships are smiling and shaking your hand, behind closed doors, they are slashing prices by margins that would make a liquidation sale look conservative. Models that commanded waiting lists 18 months ago are now collecting dust with thousands of dollars knocked off the sticker price. The same manufacturers who told you their vehicles were worth every penny are now practically begging you to drive them off the lot. You have been lied to about supply chain recoveries and market adjustments. The brutal truth is that these 10 brands are in crisis mode, and their desperate fire sales will not fix the fundamental problems destroying their businesses. In this video, I am revealing exactly which 10 car brands are in the most trouble, why their extreme discounting strategy is actually making things worse, and what this disaster means if you are planning to buy or already own one of these vehicles. Make sure you subscribe right now because the information I am about to share could save you from making a financial mistake you will regret for years. Number 10. Lincoln. The American luxury brand that nobody remembers exists anymore. Lincoln's disappearing act from consumer consciousness is almost complete. Just a decade ago, Lincoln attempted a comeback with Matthew McConaughey commercials that became more famous than the cars they advertised. Today, those ads are punchlines, and the brand has faded back into obscurity. Walk through any shopping mall parking lot and count how many Lincolns you see compared to Lexus, BMW, or even Genesis. The numbers tell a devastating story of irrelevance. Dealerships are sitting on Aviator and Nautilus inventory that moves slower than luxury vehicles have any right to. Some locations report average days to sale exceeding 90 days on certain trims, an eternity in the premium segment where fresh inventory and exclusivity drive desirability. This stagnation forces incentives that completely undermine any pretense of luxury positioning. When a brand new Lincoln Corsair requires $5,000 in manufacturer incentives plus dealer discounts to compete, something is fundamentally broken. Number 9. Ram, the truck brand with an identity crisis and a quality problem it cannot outrun. Ram's separation from Dodge was supposed to elevate the brand and allow focused marketing on truck buyers. Instead, it created confusion that still lingers years later. Many consumers still refer to Ram trucks as Dodge Rams, diluting the brand identity Ram has spent millions trying to establish. This confusion matters more than it seems because brand perception drives purchase decisions in the intensely competitive truck market. The quality concerns plaguing Ram trucks have become impossible to ignore as reliability rankings consistently place Ram near the bottom. Consumer Reports, J.D. Power, and other tracking organizations repeatedly cite electrical issues, transmission problems, and build quality concerns across the Ram lineup. The luxurious interiors and powerful engines that win automotive journalist praise cannot overcome real-world reliability problems that cost owners time and money. Social media amplifies every failure, creating perception problems that spread faster than Ram's marketing can counteract. These quality issues manifest in the resale market where Ram trucks lose value faster than their primary competitors. A 3-year-old Ram 1500 experiences depreciation approximately 12% worse than a comparable Ford F-150 or Chevrolet Silverado. For a vehicle that often costs $50,000 to $70,000 when properly equipped, this represents thousands of dollars in lost value that savvy buyers increasingly factor into purchase decisions. The total cost of ownership calculation is turning against Ram despite aggressive initial discounting. Speaking of discounting, Ram's incentive addiction has reached levels that should alarm anyone paying attention. Month after month, Ram offers cash rebates, financing deals, and lease specials that dwarf what Ford and GM provide on comparable trucks. Some months have seen total incentives exceeding $8,000 on certain Ram configurations, a staggering amount that reveals deep inventory problems or serious demand shortfalls. These incentives work in the short term to move metal off dealer lots, but they destroy brand equity and train consumers to wait for the next deal rather than pay full price. The inventory crisis at Ram dealerships tells the real story behind the discounts. Lots are overflowing with trucks in configurations that buyers do not want, forcing painful markdowns to clear space for new model year inventory. Dealers who ordered heavily based on previous year demand are now stuck with aging stock as buyer preferences shift toward hybrid and electric options that Ram has been slow to deliver. This inventory overhang creates a self-reinforcing problem where discounts become necessary to move units, which trains buyers to expect discounts, which makes moving units at full price even harder. Number 8. Mitsubishi, the zombie brand that somehow still exists despite having almost no reason to. Mitsubishi's product lineup is a museum of automotive mediocrity, featuring vehicles that were uncompetitive when they launched and have only fallen further behind as competitors evolved. The Mirage, a subcompact car so basic it makes budget offerings from 10 years ago look advanced, somehow remains in the lineup as a rolling advertisement for why nobody should buy a Mitsubishi. The Outlander, despite a recent redesign, enters a cutthroat compact crossover segment without a single compelling advantage over a dozen better alternatives. The Eclipse Cross tries to trade on a legendary nameplate and delivers an awkwardly styled crossover that honors nothing about the Eclipse legacy. This product weakness creates a dealer network sustainability crisis that is becoming visible across the country. Mitsubishi dealerships are closing or consolidating at an accelerating rate as profitability evaporates. Many remaining dealers share facilities with other brands, relegating Mitsubishi to a corner of the showroom where a handful of vehicles sit largely ignored. The economics of running a standalone Mitsubishi dealership have become nearly impossible in most markets, leading to a retail presence that shrinks every quarter. What keeps Mitsubishi on life support is a business model built on subprime financing that targets buyers with damaged credit. Industry analysis reveals that Mitsubishi's sales depend heavily on customers who cannot qualify for financing from other manufacturers. Mitsubishi Financial Services approves loans that other captive finance companies reject, creating volume through financial risk rather than product desirability. This strategy moves vehicles today but builds no brand loyalty and creates no foundation for sustainable growth. It is automotive life support, not a viable long-term business model. The brand awareness void surrounding Mitsubishi is almost total among buyers under 40. Market research shows that younger consumers have virtually no familiarity with Mitsubishi beyond vague awareness that the brand exists. Without the emotional connections built by desirable products or effective marketing, Mitsubishi has become automotive wallpaper, present in the marketplace but invisible to most consumers. Attempting to build awareness at this point would require investment levels that the struggling brand simply cannot justify given its minimal market share. Perhaps most telling is the absence of any clear future vision for Mitsubishi in North America. Parent company discussions about electrification, autonomous vehicles, and future mobility rarely mention Mitsubishi in meaningful ways. The brand appears to be in managed decline, maintained at minimal investment levels, while corporate leadership decides whether full withdrawal makes more financial sense than continued operation. Every quarter that passes without significant product investment or marketing initiative suggests the answer is becoming clearer. Number 7. Alfa Romeo, the Italian dream that turned into a financial nightmare for Stellantis. Alfa Romeo's reliability reputation is so catastrophically bad that it overshadows genuinely excellent driving dynamics and stunning designs. Consumer Reports has ranked Alfa Romeo dead last in reliability among all brands multiple years running, citing problems across every vehicle system from engines to electronics. These are not minor inconveniences, but fundamental quality failures that leave owners stranded and facing repair bills that quickly exceed any initial purchase savings. Social media communities of frustrated Alfa owners document failures with such regularity that potential buyers are scared away before ever visiting a dealership. The Giulia and Stelvio, Alfa's core products in the North American market, entered a brutally competitive segment against German rivals, with decades of established premium credibility. Despite winning automotive journalist praise for handling and style, these models have failed to achieve sustainable sales volumes. Monthly sales numbers that should be in the thousands barely reach the hundreds, revealing a brand that creates desire among enthusiasts, but fails to convert consideration into purchases among the broader premium market. This volume failure makes the business case for Alfa's North American presence increasingly questionable. Dealer network fragmentation creates service nightmares for the limited number of buyers who do choose Alfa Romeo. Many major metropolitan areas have only one or two dealers, meaning owners might drive an hour for routine service or warranty repairs. This service accessibility problem compounds reliability concerns because even minor issues become major inconveniences. Compare this to BMW or Mercedes, where multiple dealerships in every major market ensure convenient service, and the ownership experience disadvantage becomes clear. Alfa cannot build market share without better service coverage, but cannot justify service coverage without better market share. The result is resale value destruction that makes initial purchase decisions look increasingly foolish in hindsight. 3-year-old Alfa Romeo models lose value at rates that shock even pessimistic projections, depreciating up to 25% more than German competitors. A Giulia purchased for $50,000 might be worth barely half that amount 3 years later, while a comparable BMW 3 Series retains significantly more value. This depreciation gap turns the initial price advantage into a long-term financial disaster for owners who eventually discover their Italian exotic has become a very expensive mistake. Inventory levels at the limited dealer network reveal a brand in crisis mode with sales volumes that cannot support current operations. Some dealers report annual sales in the dozens rather than hundreds, making it mathematically impossible to cover facility costs and staff salaries. The incentives required to move even this limited volume have reached absurd levels, with total discounts sometimes exceeding $10,000 on vehicles with MSRPs in the 50s. At these discount levels, Stellantis is likely losing money on every Alfa Romeo sold in North America, subsidizing the brand for reasons of corporate pride rather than financial logic. Number 6. Volvo. The Swedish brand that bet everything on electrification and is now facing the consequences of moving too fast. Volvo's announced timeline for going all-electric by model year 2030 seemed bold and visionary when announced. Today it looks increasingly reckless as electric vehicle adoption rates lag optimistic projections and infrastructure development falls behind schedule. This commitment has created product planning paralysis, where internal combustion development has slowed while electric offerings face their own problems, leaving Volvo with a transitional lineup that satisfies neither traditional buyers nor early electric adopters. The EV demand reality is crushing Volvo's strategic assumptions, as real-world buyers show far less enthusiasm for electric vehicles than corporate planners anticipated. The Volvo C40 Recharge and XC40 Recharge sit on dealer lots significantly longer than their internal combustion siblings, requiring substantial incentives to move despite positive reviews. Range anxiety, charging infrastructure concerns, and price premiums keep mainstream buyers in traditional powertrains regardless of how much Volvo's marketing emphasizes electric benefits. This gap between corporate vision and consumer reality creates inventory problems and margin pressure that threaten profitability. Chinese ownership concerns add another layer of complexity to Volvo's brand perception challenges in the North American market. Geely's ownership of Volvo has enabled massive investment and probably saved the brand from extinction, yet some consumers express unease about buying a Swedish brand owned by a Chinese conglomerate. These concerns intensify as geopolitical tensions rise and manufacturing shifts toward China for certain models and components. Whether fair or not, these perceptions create hesitation among potential buyers in a segment where brand heritage and national identity still influence purchase decisions. The subscription feature backlash has damaged Volvo's reputation among tech-savvy younger buyers who should be natural customers for the brand's safety-focused, progressive image. Volvo's experiments with charging subscriptions for features like heated seats triggered widespread criticism and mockery across social media and automotive media. Even after retreating from some of these plans, the damage to brand perception lingers. Buyers increasingly view Volvo as a company that will nickel and dime them for basic features, destroying the premium experience the brand claims to deliver. This creates trust issues that are hard to rebuild once established. Luxury market positioning confusion leaves Volvo trapped between mainstream and true luxury without a clear identity. Is Volvo a premium mainstream brand like Acura or a true luxury competitor to BMW and Mercedes? Different models and marketing messages suggest different answers, creating brand schizophrenia that weakens positioning. The pricing suggests luxury aspirations, but brand perception research shows consumers viewing Volvo as a half-step below German rivals. This perception gap forces incentives that undermine luxury positioning, creating another destructive cycle where discounting enables volume but destroys the premium image needed to command full prices. Number 5. Jaguar, the British brand in its death throes after decades of false starts and broken promises. Jaguar's announced pause in new vehicle sales as it transitions to all-electric is either a brilliant reinvention or a dignified exit strategy disguised as transformation. The brand plans to emerge as an ultra-luxury, all-electric manufacturer competing with Bentley and upper-tier Mercedes, abandoning the sports sedan market it could never profitably maintain. This is an admission that everything Jaguar has tried for the past 20 years has failed, and that the only hope is complete reinvention, targeting a totally different customer. The legacy of catastrophic reliability ratings haunts Jaguar, despite recent improvements that came too late to save the brand's reputation. Years of finishing at or near the bottom of every dependability study created a perception of British unreliability that even objective improvements cannot overcome. Consumers have long memories when it comes to brands that stranded them or drained their wallets with repair bills. Jaguar's attempts to market improved quality fall flat because the damage is already done among the generations of buyers who experienced the problems firsthand or heard horror stories from friends and family. Dealer network collapse provides visible evidence of a brand in retreat from the North American market. Jaguar dealerships have closed at an accelerating pace as sales volumes make operations unsustainable. Many remaining dealers share facilities with Land Rover, relegating Jaguar to a secondary position where a handful of vehicles represent the entire brand. This shrinking retail presence makes it harder for potential buyers to even see Jaguar products in person, creating a downward spiral where reduced visibility leads to fewer sales, leading to more dealer closures, leading to even less visibility. The product lineup irrelevance is almost total, with remaining models so outdated they feel like artifacts from another era. The XE and XF sports sedans compete in a shrinking segment against German rivals that exceed them in every measurable category. The F-Pace SUV entered the market years ago as a promising competitor, but has fallen behind as rivals evolved and Jaguar stagnated. The F-Type sports car trades on fading memories of Jaguar's heritage, but cannot command the prices or volumes needed to justify its existence. Nothing in the current lineup gives buyers a compelling reason to choose Jaguar over better alternatives. Resale value catastrophe facing current Jaguar owners represents one of the worst financial disasters in the automotive market. 5-year-old Jaguar models retain value so poorly that they lose up to 60% of their original purchase price. Depreciation so severe that it borders on financial malpractice for buyers who did not research total ownership costs. A Jaguar XF that cost $50,000 new might be worth $20,000 5 years later, while a comparable BMW 5 Series retains nearly double that value. This is not a small difference, but a complete collapse of value that punishes every owner. Number 4. Maserati, the Italian luxury brand that exists only for people who do not research their purchases. Maserati's reliability nightmares make Alfa Romeo look dependable by comparison, which is truly an accomplishment in failure. Owners report electrical problems, engine issues, transmission failures, and build quality concerns across the lineup with disturbing regularity. The Maserati ownership experience for many buyers becomes an expensive cycle of dealer visits, loaner vehicles, and repair bills that quickly exceed what German luxury brands would cost to maintain. These problems get documented on owner forums and social media, creating a reputation that makes conquest sales nearly impossible regardless of how beautiful the vehicles look. The depreciation apocalypse hitting Maserati owners is among the worst in the entire automotive industry across all segments. A Ghibli purchased for $75,000 loses half its value within 3 years. Depreciation so catastrophic that leasing becomes mathematically absurd and buying becomes financial suicide. Number 3. Polestar, the Volvo electric spin-off that nobody asked for and even fewer people are buying. Polestar's luxury EV market entry faces the impossible challenge of establishing a premium brand from scratch in the most competitive automotive segment during an electric vehicle adoption slowdown. Launching a new luxury brand is extraordinarily difficult under ideal conditions. Attempting it with electric-only vehicles during a period when EV sales are growing slower than projected while targeting premium buyers skeptical of unproven brands creates a nearly impossible situation. The Polestar 2 and 3 are objectively competitive vehicles that have won positive reviews, yet consumer awareness barely registers. Number 2. Lucid, the electric luxury startup burning through cash faster than it can build credibility. Lucid's production problems have transformed what should have been a Tesla competitor into a cautionary tale about automotive manufacturing complexity. The company has repeatedly slashed production targets as reality collides with ambitious projections, revealing that designing an impressive vehicle and manufacturing it profitably at scale are completely different challenges. Delays in ramping production leave early reservation holders frustrated and potential buyers skeptical that Lucid can deliver on promises. Number 1. Tesla, the former electric vehicle king now facing a crisis entirely of its own making. Tesla's controversial leadership problems have metastasized from a quirky distraction into a sales-destroying liability. The CEO's increasingly erratic behavior and polarizing political activities have transformed Tesla from a universally admired innovator into a culture war symbol that half of potential buyers actively avoid. Market research reveals that significant percentages of previous Tesla consideration shoppers have eliminated the brand purely due to leadership controversies having nothing to do with the vehicles themselves. This is unprecedented in automotive history, where CEO behavior rarely impacts purchase decisions for mass-market brands. The quality control nightmares plaguing Tesla vehicles have become impossible to ignore as volume production reveals consistent problems. Panel gaps, paint issues, interior rattles, electronic glitches, and build quality concerns that would be unacceptable in a $30,000 vehicle somehow persist in $60,000 to $80,000 Teslas. So there you have it, 10 car brands in various stages of collapse, desperately slashing prices in hopes of moving inventory that buyers have rejected. What this reveals is a brutal truth the automotive industry does not want you to know. Legacy brand loyalty is worthless in a market where quality and value matter more than nostalgia. Discounting is a short-term band-aid that makes the underlying disease worse by training buyers to wait and destroying residual values. Once a brand loses momentum in the automotive market, recovering is nearly impossible without investments that struggling companies cannot afford. Many of these brands will not exist in their current form 10 years from now. Some will be absorbed, some will exit entire markets, and a few might disappear entirely. Which brand's collapse surprised you most? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me which one you think will be gone first. Smash that like button so this reaches more people who need to know what is really happening before they make a purchase they will regret. The automotive apocalypse is accelerating, and staying informed could save you thousands.